Well, good afternoon everybody, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another video. We're in the Bell 47 helicopter, VAP Air Livery, my own private airline. This is Lee James, Virtual Airline Pilot, with you again for another video. We're on the ground at Hamilton Island, which is an island in the Whitsunday group off the northeast coast of Australia. And today we'll be flying up to Hardy Reef. It's part of a new scenery project called REEFWORLD. It's by a company called AUSCENE, and we're going to go and take a look at this product. Basically it consists of a series of boats and landing pads anchored on Hardy Reef and Hart Reef, which is about just under 40 miles northeast of here, something like a 33-minute flight. So we're going to take off and head out over the trees here, then back turn over the airport so you can get a look at the default Hamilton Island, and then we'll track northeast, climbing up to about 2,000 feet and head out over the water and take some views along the way. It's about a 33-minute flight. I will be editing the video so you're not bored to death, and then the real challenge will be to try and land this helicopter on one of the pads as we approach the resort. So thanks for joining me. Well, let's get started. So we're fueled up and ready, pre-checks are done, battery goes on, ignition goes on, carb heat's up, instrument lights, and all our lighting goes on. That's all set. Ignition key is set. Let's start her up. Okay, everything's in the green, fuel is okay, temps and pressures look good. Everything looks fine, so let's get ready to lift off. I should mention that I flew up here yesterday, I had a look around, and these helicopter pads are enormously difficult to land at. So I make no excuses. I'm hopefully going to fly up there, we'll have a little fly over the top, and then we'll try and make a landing, and in order to have a close look at the scenery. So some transitional lift going here. As you can see, the terrain and the lagoons and everything around here look really, really nice. We're just going to head out over here a little bit further, and then we'll turn back in over the runway and start our flight. Okay, turn in over the runway. this is the default Hamilton Island. I have the Australia World Update loaded, so here you get a chance to see what this kind of looks like. So let's get some height. So we fly out here over the lagoon, and then as we climb up, probably go up to about 1500 feet I think, and then we'll make a right turn and head northeast off towards the reefs. As you can see, lots of little boat traffic and things. Looks quite nice. So coming round on course. So it's a heading of about 020 from the islands. Going to take us up to about 1500 feet. As you can see, just beautiful lagoons here. It's all really, really well done. So we will be taking her up to about 2000 feet. We want to try and get an advantage on the winds. Not much wind today. We are flying with clear skies during the daytime, no weather loaded as such. Although there is a wind from the left about 3 or 4 knots, which I think is the Sobo's default. But all looking quite good so far. Some nice beaches down there. So currently crossing Whitsunday Island National Park, which is why you can see it's heavily forested. And we're going to try and keep a reasonably decent 80 knots. As you can see, scenery looks great, heavily forested, looks very tropical. It's lovely scenery here, really is stunning. So we got a heading of about 015020 from Hamilton Island. Will take you out to where the REEFWORLD resort is. really nice so far. Islands are looking good. The aircraft is looking okay. We're managing to maintain quite a healthy speed. We'll try and keep it about 2,000 feet. So we're heading out over the water now. We're about just under a quarter of the way there. So I'm going to just edit this out for a minute, and I'll see you again as we get closer to the reef. So I'll see you in a little while. Well, welcome back, folks. Yeah, you can see part of the reef. It's about 8.5 miles ahead of us. We're going to start dropping some altitude now. And what we're going to do to start with, we're going to fly over Heart Reef and have a look at the single sloop that has the helicopter pad on top of it. I made 8 attempts to try and land there yesterday without success. I did manage to land on one of the other one where there's the other helicopter, although the landing pad isn't great. But anyway, we'll try and see if we can attempt another landing, as I really need to be able to get on the deck of one of these pads to be able to get the drone camera out and have a close look at the scenery. So we're going to come in over this single sloop, which is on the southeastern side of the reef here, pretty much right in front of us. And then we're going to turn left and head towards where the main REEFWORLD point is, and have a look at the figures, the bits and pieces that are there. So the reef's coming down to about 500 feet now. Start slowing down in a minute when we see the first boat with the pad on top. Just about 5 miles to run to the reef's edge, which is just in front of us. Some beautiful colours, as you can see. The reef's really nicely represented. Don't know how real it is because I've never been here, but I love the colours. And any minute now should be coming up on the single boat that has the helipad on top of it. It's about 3 miles ahead. So as you can see, these are the shallows, and the reef edge comes up at the moment in front of us, getting there slowly. I'm managing to fly this reasonably well today, so let's hope I can put the thing down on one of the pads. So we'll be approaching Hart Reef, which is where the single boat is with the single helipad on the top, and then we're going to turn left and head across the reef to what's called REEFWORLD, which is on Hardy Reef. It's on the western edge of Hardy Reef. There it is, you can see just appeared ahead of us. Just going to try and swing to the right of it slightly so you can get a reasonably good look at it. So as I said, this is a single boat, or sloop, whatever you want to call it. It's got a helipad on the roof, and it sits on the southeastern edge of the reef here. So there it is, literally a single structure. It's a boat with a helipad on top. That's the hardest place to land. So now let's turn west. Gained a little bit of height here. Don't want to be too low. We're now 150 feet. So as I say, we're now heading to REEFWORLD itself, to the main part of the scenery. They are in the distance there. You can just see one of the boats there starting to appear. Now what you have, if I remember correctly, you have a boat with 2 landing pads on it, another boat with 2 pads, one which is occupied by a blue helicopter, and then you have another pad further up, and there's an onshore boat parked there, or delivery boat if you want to call it that. And then there's another structure further on, like another boat or sloop, kind of acts like a lounge area. But we'll go in nice and low. And we're 200 feet now. And you can have a look and see. And there is there's a barge, maybe 2 barges, that move between the delivery boat and the landing pads. So I think it's quite a quaint, nice little scenery. As I said before, when I tried this out yesterday, I did have problems landing on the pads. 2 reasons. Firstly, they're enormously difficult to land on, and I'm not a hugely skilled helicopter pilot, but we're going to give it a go. And the other problem was that the one landing I did make, the skid sank into the pad. So I've sent a message to AUSCENE to see if they can have a look at that and see. So we're coming in at quite nicely at about 25 knots now, 200 feet. Just try and slow it a little bit more. So coming in at 100 feet. So I try and approach these low and fairly slow, so you get a chance to look at them, and then we'll attempt a landing. So dead ahead of us here on at the farthest one on the left there, that's the lounge barge. And then to the right there you've got the other main barge where there's the delivery boat. See if we can just fly across here. So there below you can see the lounge sort of things with the seats there. And you see the birds. This is the other problem, is birds to contend with. Now there below us you can see the delivery yacht, and there's the barge going out towards the next pad. There's your birds flying around. Now here's the 2-pad landing pad, and then ahead there you've got the one with the helicopter. So what I'm going to try and do is come in on this 2-pad where there doesn't seem to be any obstructions in terms of aircraft. There's another barge there going out to that pad. But we do have, of course, we do have birds to contend with. So let's spin it round. Right, now this is the thing to do, is to try and line up and have a reasonable shout at coming in on this. It's really difficult. But we're going to try it. Wow, I made it. How about that? Well, there you are, folks. I managed to land it and missed the birds, although there's one standing right behind my bloody rotor there. And as you can see, you've got animated birds here. And they look really good. And look at the way this is modelled. It's really beautiful. So we're going to shut down the engine so I can talk to you, and we're going to have a look at the other bits and pieces here. So lights off. Generators off. So welcome to REEFWORLD. So there you go, just wanted to show you these birds here. As you can see, they're animated, and they're actually really nicely animated. They look very realistic. The one in flight looks really good. This chap here is pecking away and enjoying some food, and you can hear the water lapping, which I think is wonderful. And there's this guy here as well. So without further ado, let's go and explore the other little bits and pieces in this scenario here and see how it goes. Well, welcome back, folks. Just a quick explanation here. I used the bell obviously to fly out here, but there seems to be an issue with the helicopter landing on the pads here. Essentially, it seems that the bell is not necessarily equipped for water landings, and so can't actually land properly on the pad without the skids sinking in, and ultimately what I had was a water crash before I came to literally right after landing there. So what we've done in order to complete this review, we've switched to the HPG helicopter Airbus 135 on the pad here, so I can really now take the drone camera, go out and have a look at the scenery itself properly. So let's get started with that then. So here we are on one of the dual pads, and you can see the beautiful detail, and of course the birds absolutely wonderful. See if we can get a close-up view. So the only thing we can't hear, of course, is the seagull noise. But not complaining about that. I'll just look at the lovely detail, and the detail on the pad is really beautiful. Very, very nicely weathered. There's one of the birds doing a circuit. There's one below here having a chomp at whatever he can find. I have to say, this is a really nice helicopter, but really difficult to fly. Really does take some handling and some practice. However, let's have a look at what we've got here scenery wise. So as you can see, if we look in this direction right out to the very end, we've got another pad with a helicopter already on it in the scenery, and there's a barge that goes from the main deck out to the pad to collect the passengers and bring them in. Let's go and have a close look. So once again, another dual pad. And we've got a Robinson R44 helicopter parked on the pad there, and there's the barge, which is just moving away now, having collected its virtual passengers. Once again, we've got birds around. It's really, really nicely done. Really hats off to AUSCENE for doing such a lovely job. Once again, great detail on this pad, weathering. It just really looks good, and some really nice detail on the helicopter model as well. There we are, close-up view of the helicopter correctly perched on the pad. Lovely detail on it. Even got the registration correct. Victor Hotel is the right prefix for aircraft in Australia. And there goes the barge off to the main area, which is over here. We've got a cruise boat that brings people in from the mainland. And now we'll go and have a look at this. So here we are, we're going to track past the cruise barge that returns to the ship. As you can see, there's a second barge as well. Very nicely done. Nice modelling there, lovely little ship. So there's the big catamaran that comes in and brings the passengers off from the mainland and deposits them here onto REEFWORLD itself. As you can see, we've got some passengers, and there's two of the barges coming in. So I think this is a really nice little scenery. There's an awful lot there. The price is really cheap, I think. for the work that's been done, and you get an awful lot for your money. I can't really fault it in that respect at all. It's just beautifully done. Animations are nice. Let's have a close look at the people. So here's the main REEFWORLD cruise deck. Lots of lovely little features, little restaurant there, with some people, not animated. The birds are animated, of course. You've got solar panels on the roof there. Would have been nice to see one or two of these animated. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it might have been a frame rate issue or an issue or problem having the birds animated and the people at the same time. I'm not sure. Not a developer, so I can't answer that one. Nobody behind the bar, unfortunately. But there we go. Looking at the lower decks as the barge moves away. Some lovely wood effect here. This is really nice. And the Welcome to REEFWORLD sign. I must say, having the birds around really makes this gives it some sort of atmosphere, which is great. Very nice. Some nice models. You can see the buoys as well, which mark the parking area, as it were. So just looking at this side here, got the lovely lady here. Here's the barge moving away, and again this lovely wood effect here, which I think is wonderful. Let's go to the upper deck. I do have to be really careful with the drone camera here while I'm looking at this, because we do tend to get water crashes if the drone camera goes too close to the water. Okay, there we can see this other side of the sloop here with the main deck where people can relax and enjoy the sun. One thing I need to mention with the scenery, it's really nice. However, I get lots and lots of water crashes with the drone camera. I have to be really careful about having the drone camera fairly close and low. The moment I've taken this camera a little bit higher up and further away and just use the zoom function to go in close so you can see, and at the moment it seems to be holding. But moving the drone camera around the scenery close to the objects in the scenery seems to cause a lot of water crashes. But apart from that, as I say, it looks really good. I should explain the history really about what happened with the scenery. I flew out originally in the Fly Inside Bell 47 helicopter and managed, after several attempts, to make a landing on one of the pads. Unfortunately, the skids sank into the pad, and literally a few minutes afterwards I got a water crash. And every time I landed on the pad, the skids sunk in and I got continually a water crash. I have spoken to the developer, and it would seem that the problem may well be with the Fly Inside helicopter not enabled for water landings, because as you can see from the start of this little bit of video, we've switched to the HPG 135 Airbus helicopter, and that's on the pads with no problem at all. And I believe that's the one that AUSCENE used in there when they did this and put it together. And I've now got that HPG helicopter loaded, which you saw in the beginning, and I'm using the drone camera to get close up to these objects, and yet I'm still getting water crash exits from the simulator if I get too close to the objects or sometimes too close to the water. So I don't know. The scenery is great. I really like it, and hopefully we can solve the issue with the Fly Inside Bell 47 so we can actually fly out here and land. But it is really nice. The scenery, the objects, the modelling is absolutely wonderful. I'll go in a bit closer there and you can see the detail. Really, really nicely done. Very impressive. So again, if I zoom out there, you can see the model sitting in the water. Some beautiful effects. I love the way the reef is sandy glowing below the water here. Just the effects are really, really nice. I love it. And you've got the pontoons. It's a nice little scenery. I should say that AUSCENE have updated it to version 1.01. What they've done is that they've extended the landing area on the pads just slightly over the edge, so even if you don't quite get right on the pads with your whatever helicopter you choose, you'll still be able to complete a landing, which helps the pilots who are not quite so good yet, people like myself for example. So let's just go and have a look at this pontoon here. Again, you've got the birds going around, which I think really makes the scenery come to life a bit, and you can even see the shadows, which are wonderful. So here we are looking at this pontoon from the other side. As I said, we're on the Heart Reef, and yeah, the modelling is really lovely. It's very nice. Okay, so I seem to be continually suffering from water crashes during this review and attempting to have a close look at the scenery using the drone camera. So we'll try this again. As you can see, the drone is high up, well away from the water, so there should be no incidents of any water crash. What we will do is we'll use the zoom keys to go in close and have a look. As I said, I mean, the scenery looks great. No real problem at all. What I want to do is to just move around from this high level and see if we can again initiate another water crash. So we go across the top of the model. And just have a look down. As you can see, it's a really nice model here. It looks really great. Let's move to the other side. Now we'll continue with this, and there we go. There you can see I was miles away and we've had a water crash, and we go back to the main menu. So let's reload the sim and see if we can do anything a little bit more. Okay, apologies for the long review, but as you can see there have been issues with the scenery that I've experienced. Anyway, let's wrap it up now and let's go through what I think. On the positive side, it's a wonderful product. It looks beautiful, and without the problems I've experienced, it's an amazing place to go to. Yep, visit it in a helicopter or in a seaplane, and that's pretty much it. The detail is wonderful. How they've done it and textured it and put it together, I think, is excellent. I am investigating the helicopter issue with the Fly Inside Bell 47, discussing it with Fly Inside at the moment. They're looking into that to see if there is an issue with the helicopter. But I also must say that whilst I've been able to place the 135 helicopter on the pad safely, as indeed AUSCENE have done, I've also attempted to land it or place it on the single sloop, and it's gone through the pad into the cabin. So that clearly doesn't work. And not necessarily satisfied with the answer about the water crashes occurring from high altitude using the drone camera. That seems really strange to me, but again, I'm not a developer, so I can't really answer that, but I am discussing this issue with a few other people who are in the know. I'd be interested to know in the comments if anybody else has experienced problems like this. It's a wonderful scenery that's just being spoiled by some of the issues I have. I can fly out there and I can fly over the scenery and have a look and then return, but that's pretty much it, although I have managed a landing or two. Hope to resolve the helicopter issue with the Fly Inside, but as I said, the scenery is great, the price is great, the design is wonderful. It's a spectacular little product, but I would be really interested to hear in the comments or by email from anybody else who's experienced the problems I have, because it's the one thing that spoilt it for me. But as a product, no, I encourage you to go and get it. Let's hope we don't have anybody else other than myself experiencing these issues. So, wonderful product, REEFWORLD by AUSCENE, coming in at a really nice cheap price. This is Lee. Thank you very much for joining me in this review. Sorry it's been so long. I hope you like the product, and as ever, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video. So this is Lee, your virtual helicopter pilot on this occasion, saying thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.